Wait a second. Okay, welcome everybody. I don't know where this message came from, but this is so spring, bro. This is I got into this game to cast a game where we had a YOLO play, very similar to the Legend of the Liar, which you just don't see at a high level very much. And freaking Spring, my boy, I see the thing is it's a capture age bug, so I think this might have been from a previous game. But look at what Spring says. He says, "Stop wallin', don't be nerd. You made me, cause you not let me in. Delete yours. I'll delete mine. Oh, nice. Dot, dot, dot." Well, if that isn't Spring in a nutshell, I don't know what is. Many people might not remember this, but Spring was he was the one who got walled in that most annoying strategy episode many years ago. Video that brought a lot of people into the community. And yeah, this is the chat from this game. So they must have just played a previous game. But yeah, anyways, in the red, I'm going to mispronounce this person's name. And I think he's known as something else. But a player I just played against yesterday, actually. We're just going to call him Red. I believe a player from Argentina. Now we have Spring, who's an American, who if he wins through and I win through in the USA Cup, I'll actually be facing in the USA Cup semifinals, but don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm playing pretty bad right now. And Spring is playing as the Malay, right? So Malay, they advance 66% faster to the next age. They're good with archers. Typically, you see a lot of archer infantry on land maps. Ideally, you'd probably have them on a water map. But they do have other options, which you just don't see a lot at a high level, and we might see some of that here. In terms of the maps are very open. Spring was just saying that he wasn't really a big fan of how Red was walling. In my experience, Red has some sick man-at-arm builds with lots of walls. A very tough player to play against. But yeah, and actually, if you look at the base as well, Red's got the opportunity to go for, I'd say, easier walls. Easy wall off here. Build out in the front. Wall. It's something you have to be thinking about. Spring might not like it. I know that his brain just breaks sometimes when he sees walls. But it's part of the game, right? It's part of the game, and it is an investment, both in time and resources. I think we're at a better state when it comes to walling than ever, which is rather interesting because a lot of people who've returned to the game from like many years ago feel like we're in a worse state when it comes to walls. Like I was playing Fiage in a 1v1 last week. He says, "What do you think of Age of Walls now?" He's like, "The meta is full wall." And I had to remind him, I'm like, dude, walling is more expensive and takes way more time than ever. I feel like there's great ways to punish it still. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say no to some type of a wall change. Andre, who happens to be in Twitch chat right now, who plays around 2K, says, "Last time I played Spring, he triple palisade walled everything." Yeah, that's what he does, man. That's what he does. He's like, "Oh, you made me into this. You made me into this monster. Look what you did.
Yep.
I used to be a fun guy. Now I wall." But yeah, so I'd say Malay are a little tricky for 1v1 Arabia because your build order changes. When you advance 66% faster than the next stage, if you click up at 21 or 22 pop, you're going to arrive in Feudal Age and you're like, wow, I'm in Feudal Age right now. Don't know what I can do with it because you just get up very quickly. So it's a civ that you can create builds for, but a lot of that can be situational, like who you're facing up against. And so anyways, Spring is trying to see what Red is up to. I don't recall if they chatted much more in this game, but it would be kind of funny if there would be a bit more chatter between them. And from what I can see, this is going to be a man-at-arm build. Yep, we've got the racks going up. We'll probably see the next two villagers go to gold. This is a standard build. Nothing crazy about this. 22 pop. Malian buildings are discounted, so you can do it all with great flexibility. And then Spring over here. What's the plan, Stan? What's the plan? See, when I play with Malay, I click up at 24 pop because then I have a few more villagers and I arrived a few late at a standard time. Spring is like, I need to kill this Waller boy now. So he says, forget about the second lumber camp for efficiency. He's going to be in Feudal Age in a minute. That is before 9 minutes. This is really fast. Yeah, I'm good friends with Spring. I've known him for years. I would say the best way to explain his mindset is he's a player of extremes. So he's either extremely aggressive without a lot of walling, or he's extremely wally without a lot of aggression. And the thing about him that makes him dangerous is that he is insanely good with aggression, which is actually why so many people wall against him. So, also, for the sake of, strategy, if someone's complaining about walling, like they don't like it, I'm going to wall more. I'm supposed to conquer you. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I inconveniencing you with my tactics? Let me do that more frequently. Like, yeah. Well, anyways, Spring Scout's just standing there. So he had an opportunity to attack that scout. And over here, he's going for an archer range. And he's sending villagers over to gold. But this is a very fast archer build. And I wouldn't say it's very efficient long term. Looking at Spring scouting. Yeah, it's a war game, guys. It's time to fight. This is pretty bad scouting, to be honest. You see the villagers are on gold. You haven't looked for a barracks on the front. You're not tracking any militia. But true to maybe his reputation, you see what Red's focus is? I'm going to wall up over here. I'm a little scared. I'm going to bring a militia over here. I'm not going to move out. This is Spring's point. If Spring was watching this right now, he'd be like, coward. You're a coward. Get out from behind those walls and meet me on the battlefield, fool, But truthfully, Malian Man-at-Arms are actually quite good against archers, and there's 4 of them there, and here they come. Red does know that Spring's over there, but doesn't really know what Spring's going for. Spring is just really playing defensive with the archers. He's not moved out at all. And if you think about Red's point of view, it looks silly when you're just watching it, but we're at 11 and a half minutes. He hasn't seen military from the enemy. He hasn't even arrived at the enemy's base yet. Spring is around 2K. I think a little over that right now, and it's the same with Red. In fact, I took Red below 2K last night, which was ironic. He actually complained about how wallable my map was, and I was not meaning to bring that up during this cast. But I did have a pretty wallable map. Walls make a difference. And, Spring, he scouts in here. He tried to pick off a Vil, thought better of it. I don't think he spotted the Man-at-Arm upgrade, actually. Spring hit 2K2 a few days ago. Really? Nice. Yeah, last I checked, Spring was like just over 2K1, because he's going to add a tower now. Yeah, Spring definitely has the potential to get there. It's just a matter of how much time and effort he puts into it, right? Spring probably the only high-level player I've ever seen be 2K1 and then be 16 or 1700 the next week. That was old Spring, but like the old Voobly Spring, but my goodness, you literally lose 500 elo in a week. All right. Dave says he'll go back to 1800 and 1 tilt. Well, I hope I'm the one who supplies the tilt in not Hidden Cup, in USA Cup, Dave. All right. Well, to be fair, while Spring made military, he didn't really move out here, and now his whole wood line gets idled. So I prefer to have Red's position, right? He's got walls. He was able to take out Spring Scout. He has archers to back this up. Everything's looking pretty clean here. Spring getting armor first for his archers? What? Okay, I'm not too sure about that one. All of this is the build-up. We had the early conversation. I think I can page up to it for those that might have missed it, or for people who skipped ahead in the YouTube video. Page up. That was the early conversation. Do not let me in. Delete yours. I'll delete mine. Oh, nice. ... And then the rest of the conversation was from this game. Now, because Malay advanced 66% faster to the next age, and because Red had some TC idle time, Spring has a villager lead. He spends less time researching up to the next age. That's more time creating villagers, and Red wasn't creating villagers all the time. In fact, is he going to go idle again? Okay, no, it's close. It's fine. Spring just sitting at home, though, and perhaps waiting for the castle age. I think this is, if nothing else, for his own mentality, making some type of a statement. Like, I will not wall in this game. I won't do it. I won't be one of the bad people. The way he sees it anyways. Sorry, Fat Slob, if you're listening. If you didn't know Spring's reputation and you didn't know the level, the fact that there's a tower here, archer here, and skirmishers here, and just the base layout for Spring really does kind of look like a low elo legend. I mean, obviously the economy's really efficient, but there's aspects of it that makes you think, like, what on earth, man, you know? But anyways, he was just complaining about walls, and he's like, I'm sick of it. Better to win without walls. Better to lose without walls than to win with walls, I suppose. As the skirmishers are just passing here, the wolf's going to town here, and this is a good engagement for the American. Now going to push red away, and red's going to try and get back to his base here. Benefit for red, of course, is that he is safe and protected behind those walls at home. But Spring could move out now. Malay units, this is a side note, very talkative. Watch. Hey, how's your day going, bro?
Yeah.
How's your day going, bro?
Yasa kuka baginda.
Wow, that's a mouthful. What about you?
Apa shasananya baginda.
Wow, okay, really. What about the Malians? Okay. Yeah, they're a lot more wordy than Malay. You know, they really like to chat. Tell me what they had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner before they fire their first shot off, you know. Anyways, Spring has had a pretty good economic feudal age. He's close to clicking up to the next age. And I would love to see red use this scout against the skirmishers. There's an opportunity for that. Spring bringing the archers over. Right on the back foot. And Spring will now be up to Castle Age very shortly. Now, a common way of approaching a faster Castle Age is to take an eco lead. With eco upgrades like Wooden Farm, you're able to... You're able to feel comfortable behind your TCs and then getting a Vil lead and then, you know, eventually extending it to military and winning the game. I don't know if you've noticed the theme here, and I don't know what had happened to Spring throughout this day. Maybe he faced up against one too many wallers, but he is just sick of it. He's not going to go to Stone to recoup the cost so he can make a second town center because he just can't, right? He's going to come forward, and he meant to pick Magyar, all right? Probably one of the few unique times, one of the rare times that I've seen a top 150, top 200 player make use, to this extent anyways, of the cheap Malay elephants. Legend of the Liar, which you guys have probably heard of, he did do that in a different situation at around 1400 elo. But here's Spring, and he's got two stables on the front. And he's going to spam these elephants, which is actually pretty good because the enemy's probably expecting to see a lot of archers and might be making a lot of skirms. All right, so here come the chonkers. Now, Malay elephants do not get the second armor upgrade or the third armor upgrade. They only have the feudal age armor upgrade. And now red will see this. The red sees two stables. He sees the siege workshop. He's 50 seconds away from clicking up. And this is just all in. YOLO it as fast as possible. And finish this game as fast as possible. We're going to have Scorpion on the way. We've got elephants chonking away at the archery range. For now, feudal age units are not really that impressive against these things. These things have 250 HP. Scorpion will be very good. Red just taking out the range right now. Or not taking out the range, repairing the range. And this is actually working. It's working really well. And the Castle Age time could have been better for red, right? His eco could have been way better. But in this instance, New Spring's whole build has been streamlined this towards aggression. Not a single palisade wall at home. And the elephants have certainly done their job. Now, what is red's response to seeing someone go all in? Town center. Town center. It's interesting, right? Because red's thinking, okay, he's all in. I'm going to lose a few Vils, but if I boom, he won't be able to take out my TCs with elephants. I can maybe make a monastery or two, as he's doing two, to convert the elephants. And so you can kind of see this game shaping up where you have that one very aggressive player, one very defensive player, and economic player. Will it be possible for Spring to be able to kill him? Now, I was watching this game on Spring stream, and there's always a point with him where, like, I see a position he gains. Like, here, this is a big success, right? What he just did. He killed villagers, taking out the ranges, and took the enemy off of gold. What I would do is immediately after this, transfer 2 villagers to stone, so I could make a second TC soon, all right? But when Spring sees something like this, he's like, well, that's even more reason to be aggressive, you know? Going for the kill. He gets a taste of blood. And, well, here he goes. But it is actually giving Red an opportunity to come back, right? Red is on 3 TCs and catching up with villagers, adding the monks. And I actually am curious if Red's going to eventually get housed here. Man, he has a lot of houses. Holy moly. And Spring's just taking down the walls. Get out. Get out of here. And I don't think that Red expected this many rams. I think he saw elephants. I think he saw scorpions. I don't think he ever expected to see rams. Here you've got the monks going in for chonker conversions. The scorpions are going to pop out. It's the best tool that Spring has to be able to take out the monks. You convert 3 or 4 elephants. I'm just going to make more is the logic from Spring. And the TC's gone down. 51 villagers versus 54. Spring with similar military population, as over here you have... Well, he forgot about something. Spring? Hello? Hello? Hello, Spring, your base! He's a little focused right now, guys. Sorry, he's eating a town center. Hello? 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 Oh, it's all right. He's eating a town center. Spring, hello? Hello? Okay, he noticed it, but he's eating a town center, and so it doesn't matter. You wall, you boom, I just kill more. Just win, right? That's all you have to do. You just have to win the game. It's easy. It's really easy. This game is so simple, really. That's all you have to do to master Age of Empires. And despite the crazy losses, the Vil count ends up being relatively even. Now, the monastery is getting ramped down, which is a problem for Red. He does have access to gold. He's also making a market down here. So I think he can buy stone to make another TC. Spring is dotting him. He's like, I think that's a professional way or not so sly way of saying, I think you're dead right now. I think Spring might have been on a tilter this day. I don't really know. I didn't expect there to be so much chat. But he's like, come on, man. I've got you. Which is rather funny, actually, because realistically, this is more than doable for Red to come back if Spring isn't able to apply enough pressure in the right spots. Here you've got monks healing up these elephants. Some rams have gone down. But I think there's got to be some urgency for Red to maybe get more monasteries up because there might be more on the way soon. Also, the crossbows could easily find the wood line. I'm not sure. I think Spring knows something's over here. So he just made these lumber camps. And now he's going to make another one. Okay. All right. Literally brand new lumber camps. These crossbows are moving around. Update on the main attack from Spring. Well, he doesn't really know where to look right now. Where is he? Okay, now the skirmisher sees this over here. As we have another monastery and another TC from Red. And it's 47 Vils versus 55. It's a very close game. Let me put it to you this way, guys, because there might be a few people watching here like, well, look at this score. Red should resign, right? The type of player to go as YOLO as Spring is currently doing is the type of player who occasionally cannot close out games and loses, right? Because they don't have economy to back up their success. So I am all in with Red continuing to give it a shot here when he's got TCs. And he's got the monks out there. And a lot of monks on the way too. And so this is beginning to look like a spot where Spring should add a second TC. But no, it's cheating. It's not the game he wants to play. And I think it would have been way better for Red to stay forward with his crossbows. I don't understand this decision. He's going to lose these to the scorpions. And, well, there's 2 left. But that one elephant can deal with that as Spring is repositioning now. Let's actually look at the resources collected. That's interesting. That's pretty interesting there. Spring with a whole lot more food, which I guess makes sense because he didn't lose his whole farming eco. Another TC from Red. 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs. If Spring doesn't do a lot of damage now, he's going to lose this game. 59 villagers versus 61. The elephants just sneezed. I'm sorry about that. It is allergy season. And all of these elephants could be converted. Now, Malians do get redemption. It is something that I think Red should consider so he could convert the scorpions. But I think you'd want to use your faith or your monk juice, as some people call it, to use conversions on the elephants, because that's a lot of chunky boys there. See if Red can click the individual elephants. He's clicking the individual elephants. It's not bad. Oh, God, he's got more elephants than Spring does now. So many conversions, and we know the scorpions are going to go down, right? If the elephants are here, the scorpions are going to go down. Now the villagers have to be pulled. The monks have to hop into the town center. They have nowhere else to go. I don't know why, but monks can't get inside the church for some reason. They can only come out of the church. Spring has so many freaking scorpions. You'd think he was Khmer. And he actually ends up killing the elephants that he had donated to the enemy. And this is why I wanted to upload this to YouTube, because it's absolutely ridiculous how silly this is. And still Spring refuses to add a TC. He's like, no, I will not do it. I will make military and I will not wall, and you will like it. You will like it. And so actually looked like he was attacking his own scorpions there. He's attacking the farm. He's using Malay scorpions to take out the TC. And truthfully, it's working because he's got a few scouts out for any monks that might hop out. Red didn't get redemption. Red doesn't have enough monks to deal with the numbers of military here. You would need to have like 20 monks to be able to convert all this. Tried to add a siege workshop, killed the scouts. We'll do that. He's got monks back here now. Over here, he's adding another town center. He's adding so many TCs. Meanwhile, Spring has 0. Red currently has 5 TCs, and he's lost like 2 or 3. I said Spring has 0. Spring has 1. But Red is just preparing for the inevitable loss of that TC by adding another one, basically. And here comes Spring. Now, this is I meant to pick Magyard's strategy. Are elephants enough to take out the TC if you don't want to go for Rams? And can you use scorpions against the rest? Look at all these monks. What? Have you ever seen anything this ridiculous at a high level? Red's going to go for a Mangonel. He should go for a shot here. Oh, get the scorpions. They're stacked. Oh, so satisfying. Oh my God, no way. The scorpions have all disappeared. Ah, what is happening? And still Spring refuses. He refuses to add town centers. And now the elephants have to back away. 66 villagers for Red, 74 for Spring. All right, let's see what he's up to now. He's making more elephants. All right, that's good. More scorpions. Yep, that's good. That's good. Just stick with that. That seems to be working. And anything else we should know about the eco over here? Not really. We don't really need to look back there. He's adding scouts now. Maybe should go for some light cav for the monks. That would have been good, 10 or 20 minutes ago. Also, what's crazy about this is Spring's idle TC time is at 1 minute and 34 seconds. That equates to 3 villagers of idle TC time. Look at Red's idle TC time. Now, granted, he has a lot of them. Spring takes an engagement with the scouts. Oh, man, and they're making such a big difference, too. Big hits. Red needs a buffer for his monks, doesn't he? That was really good. Also, Red came in here with a knight to take out some scorpions. Also, we'll take out some with the elephant he converted a moment ago. But yeah, so it's just like, at this point, you look at these resources from Spring, and you're thinking, is he going to go fast in? Or is he just going to spend all of that on elephants? I think you know the answer. Not a single piece of palisade wall, not a single additional TC. Just YOLO. And Red's adding TCs because he's expecting to lose them. He's expanding his farm eco. If you think about the rate at which this game is going, this could continue like this for another 3 hours. Because when Spring kills a TC, Red adds 3 more. But Red doesn't have many monks anymore. And the game ends. And that was probably the wrong time for me to make that joke. And Red says, well played, man, and calls it quits. Now, that was ridiculous. Red is... I think that he realized he was going to lose everything. He could have lost this TC, or he was about to lose this TC. He was going to lose these villagers and this TC. Had he relocated, I don't see him having the number of monks he would need. And then maybe he was just like, let's go new game. This is ridiculous, but oh my word. Respect to him, obviously. He and Spring had some convos. Based on the early conversation, Spring seemed to be a little tilted with the walls. Stop walling. Don't be nerd. You made me because you not let me in. Delete your walls. You know, those types of things. But that was a sick game. that was just a sick game. Full on with elephants. Let's actually look at the timeline here. It honestly kind of looks like a standard game. If you look at this, you can see when some of the military went down for Red, but overall it does look like a standard game. Red did have more stone collected and did have more wood collected, was behind in food and gold, and Spring was just spamming those cheap Malay elephants. I don't know if lower elos have had a lot of success with the elephants, but I feel like to an extent, especially because in these numbers you're going to need monks to deal with them, or I suppose pikemen, but Malay elephants, they're a real threat, man. You don't need to contribute or bring in rams, even though he did in one instance. You can get up to Castle Age so much faster than the enemy at times, and the elephants can overwhelm. I'm not saying that this should necessarily be seen more at high levels, because I think that high-level players could find ways to counter it. But I think at mid to low elo, Malay Elephant Rush should be a legit thing. Sick stuff. And that is on top of course, all the other cool bonuses Malay can utilize. Very unique civ, a civ that I've liked for years. And we'll see what happens if there's any future patches, right? Anyways, this is the awkward moment where I act like I'm not actually streaming this, and I say thank you to people who watched on YouTube. I did stream this because I'm kind of running short on time right now to get YouTube content going, so double dipping, so to speak. Also, funny side note, Red, he's actually in Twitch chat right now. He just showed up in Twitch chat, and he just said "what face," which is an emote YouTube where like it's like a crying face. Like, what did you, or like a shocked face. Did you really show that to this many people? Dang it, man. Hi, bro. What's up?